What began as a small environmental protest against the bulldozing of one of Istanbul's largest parks in order to build a shopping mall has turned into a nationwide revolution spanning all ages and backgrounds against the government of Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the leader of the Conservative Justice and Development Party, or AKP for short. What's really brought thousands of people into the streets, though, across the country is the police brutality against the peaceful protesters that was documented on video after video that's been spread throughout social media. And this is being viewed as a microcosm of the government's overall reaction to the people and the way it's becoming increasingly disconnected from the will of the actual people of Turkey. Since 2011, the AKP has driven forward an Islamist agenda, including increased restrictions on freedom of speech, freedom of the press and internet use, and television content, as well as the right to free assembly, recent crackdowns on alcohol consumption, and trying to make abortions virtually unobtainable. These policies and these protests in response to them reflect, in part, the deep ideological polarization between liberal-minded Turks, who make up a quarter of the population, and the more religious Turks, representing 2/3 of the citizenry and heavily back Erdogan's conservative party. It also hasn't helped matters at all that Prime Minister Erdogan has made several belligerent speeches, basically dismissing the protests and the protesters, and even insulting Turkey's founding father, Ataturk, as a drunk. Erdogan has a strange vendetta against alcohol, saying that anyone who drinks alcohol is, by definition, an alcoholic. To add to his woes, Erdogan is the highest paid politician in the world, making about $1 million a month, with personal assets valued at about $1 billion. He's been in power since 2003 and has recently tried to change Turkey's constitution to create a presidential system with himself as the first president of this new, more powerful office. In another sign of Erdogan's deep disconnect with his people, as he calls them, he lashed out at users of Twitter and other social media websites, saying that they're liars instead of what they actually are, the freely expressed opinions of his people. The government even went so far as to shut down Facebook and Twitter on Saturday, June 1st, before restoring it out of fear of further alienating the people. This is a fascinating situation to watch because Turkey is by far the most functioning and highly developed country to suffer widespread unrest in recent years. Now, depending on how effective this protest movement is in Turkey, we may mark this as a historical turning point in the social media-driven movement to push back against and change democratically elected governments that go against the will of their people.